Welcome to day 57 of Drawing Wynella and Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Today we'll be talking about how Barker and Wynella meet as we draw, you guessed it, Barker and Wynella. These two meet a little later in our series, but Barker and Wynella meet at the Yellwood Market. Wynella sells her honey there, and Barker decided to become the competition and sell honey as well. Now, Wynella doesn't mind a little bit of competition, but when Barker has the audacity to slander the quality of her honey, well, Wynella cannot stand for that. These two will inevitably end up in a contest of whose honey is best and fight for the right to claim best honey in the market. Now, Wynella's honey packs a punch with its magical effects, and that's stiff competition for Barker, who does not specialize in honey. He specializes in a quick cash grab, so to win over Wynella's quality honey will be quite the task. Good thing Barker doesn't have to play fair. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next, and if these characters seem interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release. Welcome to day 58 of Drawing Wynella and Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Today we'll be talking about the history behind the show as we draw Wynella and Mooshie. Tomorrow will mark the 3rd anniversary of Wynella and Mooshie. That means that almost 3 years ago was when I first drew the original concept sketches for the show. At the time, I had no clue that those original drawings would turn into an entire story full of new characters, and even more so, I never would have suspected the people and relationships this show would expose me to. Who could have known that a witch and a mushroom would have the power to bring so many people together under one goal? It's been a wonderful experience, and we can't wait to show off the results of this collaborative project. Speaking of which, tomorrow we have some big news about the progress of our pilot, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next. And if these characters seem interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release. It's day 59 of Drawing Wynella and Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Today we'll be celebrating the 3-year anniversary of our show's conception by drawing our 4 main cast. And we have some very big news to accompany our anniversary celebration. Our pilot is officially finished. The animation is complete, the music and sound design are in place, and we are quite pleased with the results. With the pilot all finished, we are almost ready to release the episode. We're close enough that we can officially announce a release date. The Wynella and Mooshie pilot will be released on August 16th, and you'll be able to watch the start of our series on YouTube. Wynella and Mooshie were drawn for the first time on this day 3 years ago. Little could I have known how much they'd grow from that original concept sketch. In the last 3 years, they've gone from a little sketch with a proposed short film to an entire series with a finished pilot episode. Be sure to check out the pilot episode of Wynella and Mooshie on August 16th. That's 9 days away. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next. And if these characters seem interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release. It's day 60 of Drawing Wynella and Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Our pilot releases August 16th on YouTube, so there are only 8 more of these videos until we have our pilot out for the world. Today we'll be drawing Wynella. Wynella is the main character in our series, and it is her perspective that we see majority of our series from. Wynella was not based on anyone in particular, she was just supposed to be a capable adult that was available to help Mooshie. As she developed, however, I think it's very clear to see that she has a lot in common with her actress Seattle, as well as me. Traits just kind of slip into the characters when you write them because that's what we know. Wynella struggles to form deeper connections with people despite being generally kind and likable because that's what I felt like I was experiencing at the time. She's stubborn and determined because those were the traits that Seattle brought to the character. These characters are their own individuals, but they are not without our fingerprints in their making. But I think that's what makes them so real, so relatable, and so human. It's the all of us that we poured into them. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next. And if this character seems interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release. It's day 61 of Drawing Wynella and Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Our pilot releases on August 16th on YouTube, so there's only 1 week left to wait. In the meantime, we'll be drawing Mooshie. Mooshie is such a cute little guy. He truly does have everything you could want in a mushroom. He's small, squishy, and most importantly, he's got a personality. It was very important to me that Mooshie never come across as annoying. The audience could be annoyed with him when he was doing things that you don't want him to, sure, but I didn't want his personality type to be annoying. My best attempt to avoid venturing into that territory was giving Mooshie a fully fleshed out character. Sure, he's a child, so he's got plenty of room to grow, but he has hopes, fears, and emotional motivations that, while not always helpful to the story, comes from a place that you can at least understand. Mooshie starts off very subdued in our pilot, but each episode after, he opens up more and more as he starts to have experiences that shape him. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next, And if this character seems interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release. It's day 62 of Drawing Wynella Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Our pilot releases on August 16th on YouTube, so there's only 6 days left to wait. In the meantime, we'll be drawing Tallery. Tallery is not in our pilot, unfortunately. We wanted to make sure to give the proper amount of time to the foundation of Wynella and Mooshie's relationship, and including Tallery would have rushed things. Instead, Tallery will show up in our second episode so that each of the relationships can have the proper time to be established. I'm quite proud of the pacing in our series, and the last thing that I wanted to do was rush any of the relationships. This show aims to focus on how Wynella develops her relationships, so to rush any of them would have been quite the injustice to the story. Tallery and Wynella start their relationship after Wynella has a chance to commit to Mooshie so as to not overwhelm her. I mean, Wynella is definitely overwhelmed, but by introducing her to these people one by one, she manages the situation much better than if it was all piled onto her at once. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next, and if this character seems interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release. It's day 63 of Drawing Wynella Mooshie characters until we finally release our pilot. Our pilot releases on August 16th on YouTube, so there's only 5 days left to wait. In the meantime, we'll be drawing Barker. Barker will not be in our pilot, much to Wynella's relief. He is a character that we meet in episode 4. As much as Barker is one of my favorite characters, he had to be reserved for later in the series for Wynella's sake. I don't think she could have handled him for that much screen time. When Barker does enter our series, he serves as the main instigator of drama and conflict. He's not very upstanding, so he's quick to make an enemy, and Wynella is no exception to the list of people who consider Barker a total nuisance. Every other main character in our story is a relative nobody, but Barker's traveling salesman shtick was enough to give him a sort of infamous reputation. Check back in tomorrow to see what character I draw next, and if this character seems interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment to see what other fun characters and content we have cooking up as we wait for our pilot to release.